Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dreams is very difficult for a person to explain. And this is something that the ulama have actually kind of refrained from getting into, especially with the fact that there are so many different factors involved when it comes to dream interpretation. And I'll give you an example of these. So for example, the person who sees the dream is a very, very important factor. So a practicing person is not like a non-practicing person. So the fact that a practicing person goes to sleep and sees a dream, that obviously is going to be different to a person who isn't practicing and sees a dream. Also, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that dreams are three types: Rahmani, Shaitani, and Nafsani. A dream from Ar-Rahman is when you see a dream, it's a vivid dream, you feel good about it. Assalamu alaikum. How's it going? You alright? Yeah, alhamdulillah. A person, he sees a dream and he feels good about it, and what he saw, he feels positive, and he wakes up and he feels positive, and he is clear in what he has been, what he's seen and what he has probably been told, and then they wake up feeling, that goodness. That is very likely that person has seen that dream, and it's a bashara and good news from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A dream could be shaitani, where a person sees something which confuses them, or it could even scare them, and then they wake up with that confusion and that laziness, or perhaps even fright. This is a dream from shaitan. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ told us, don't pay attention to it. If you wake up in the middle of the night because of what you saw spittle over your left hand side, remember Allah, and do not tell anyone, do not converse with anyone about it. إنما النجوى من الشيطان ليحزن الذين آمنوا. These things are from shaitan because he wants to make the believers feel sad and depressed. And the advice of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ on this is to ignore it. Don't tell people about it, and seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third scenario is an-nafsani. Now, nafsani dreams are those psychological dreams. You went to sleep thinking about something, or something was there in your subconscious, and then you have a dream about it. It's no surprise that a person would see these things in his dream or her dream, and these could make a person feel confused, or it could make them feel happy, or it could be a mixture of both. Certain things makes them feel happy in what they saw in their dream, and certain things makes them feel sad in what they saw in their dreams. These are nafsani. There's nothing clear about it. And then the way you wake up also, there's nothing clear about it. You're not sure, you're not certain, and you feel a little bit happy, but then you feel a little bit of sad as well. These are nafsani. Hence, dream interpretation is very difficult because of the fact that not only do we need to determine the person who saw the dream, whether he's practicing or not, but also how did they feel, what did they see. It's not good enough for a person just to say, well, this is what I saw. There's a lot more to it. Also, the ulama have said that the way that the person goes to sleep has an effect as well. So imagine you've got a practicing person, but they go to sleep not doing the adhkar, not upon wudu, etc., etc. This has an impact on what they saw in their dream. Likewise, a person who might go to sleep having done something which is not from the dhikr of Allah. They might even go to sleep doing something which is perhaps sinful. This would obviously affect the dream that they saw. So the hal of the person, the situation of the person, and the hal of the things that the person is doing, meaning the state that the person goes to sleep in, all of these are factors which affect, the dream. So therefore, the question that you're asking here, this is what I saw in my dream, etc. You can now decide for yourself which one of these dreams or which one of these categories do you fall into. However, what I would say, and this is what I've seen from the ulama when they were asked about dream interpretation, is leaving things general. And this is actually some advice that I received from Sheikh Wasiullah Abbas, may Allah preserve him, a very long time ago, where dreams, if you can see general goodness in it, you leave it in its generality because the details are known with Allah, because there are so many different factors involved. So what I'm saying now with the dream that you've explained to me, inshallah, there's a lot of khair in it. There's a lot of khair in it. However, if a person sees a good dream. If a person sees a bad dream, what should that do? Now, from the guidance that we get from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, is that dreams is not legislation. Dreams is not legislation. This is an Aqidah issue, a manhaj issue, which we don't really want to get into right now. But deviant sects have fallen into the issue of dreams to the point where they would even make it an issue of legislation. I saw such and such, or the Prophet ﷺ came to me in my dream and said such and such, so I ended up doing such and such, and then innovating into the religion, or perhaps even worse than that. What I'm saying to you now is that dreams are part of Nubuwwah, as the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said. However, it is not legislation. So what does that hadith mean? Where the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, Ru'ya Salih, Juzm Nubuwwah, seeing a good dream is part of prophethood. What he says and what he means by that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the ulama have explained, is that when a person sees a dream, it is either to warn that person or to make that person firm. With that, what I'm saying to you now, with what you have seen, nobody can really determine the exact precise meaning of that dream. All of that dream interpretation is down to an ijtihad of a scholar. Had you taken it that far and found someone who would be able to interpret the dream. But nevertheless, that doesn't take, if you don't find it, it doesn't take away from the fact that you've actually seen something, inshallah, which seems to be good. So then what does that mean? The hadith has been explained to us by the ulama, which is if you see a good dream or if you see a bad dream, it means return back to Allah and increase in doing goodness. Because bashara, as the Messenger of Allah uses the word bushra, and glad tidings in this hadith, can only be given to a person who is steadfast on his religion. Bashara, and good news, glad tidings, is given to a person who is steadfast. So if a person sees a dream which he feels happy about, or if he sees a dream which he feels is a warning towards him about something, that is basically either a wake-up call or a reminder for him to be steadfast. So my point here now is, whatever you're going through, you're the one that's listening, but there could be other people that are listening to this as well. Whatever you see in your dream, if you feel that it is from Allah, then carry on and increase getting closer to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because that's what He wants from you ultimately, whether you get the dream interpreted or not. And if you see something bad, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perhaps would allow for the shaitan to infiltrate in your dream, the believer, if he sees a nightmare or something like that, he is not satisfied with that for himself. So what does he do? He turns back to Allah. Whatever the case, then now you can see, is you turn back to Allah. So with the mushkila and the difficulty that you're experiencing right now in your life, this dream, whether it's from Allah or not, whether you get interpreted or not, means that you need to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of your affairs. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, inshallah, facilitate for you whatever it is that is worrying you, and He will be enough for those people who have tawakkul in Him. Hopefully this answers the question. I'm very sorry if I've disappointed you in my answer, but this is the answer that I have to give. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us all tawfiq and success. Allahu a'lam, sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.